That way, as the next generation of leaders tackles the issues of their day, they will have new dreams about what they want America to be. And racial inequality will be merely a nightmare of the past. As I close, I am reminded of a story. There was a young man who tried to fool an old man. The young man had a bird in his hand, and the young man said to the old man, "Old man, is this bird in my hand dead or alive?" Out of wisdom, the old man did not respond quickly, attorney. The old man thought to himself, if I say to this young man that the bird in his hand is dead, he could open up his hands and it could fly away. If I say to the young man that the bird in his hand is alive, attorney, he could crush it and kill it. And so out of wisdom, experience, and patience, the old man said to the young man, whether or not that bird in your hands is dead or alive, it's in your hands. As I go to my seat, whether or not the dreams of our foreparents come true, are dead or alive, it's in our hands. Whether or not we continue down the path of hope or yield to the politics of hatred on November 2nd, it's in our hands. Whether or not we remain silent in the face of the fight for social justice, it's in our hands. Equity in education is in our hands. Healthcare reform is in our hands. Economic development is in our hands. Political empowerment is in our hands. Ending unemployment is in our hands. Silencing the violence is in our hands. Increasing the peace is in our hands. Defeating disease disparities is in our hands. My prayer to God today is, if you can use anything, Lord, you can use me. If you can use anything, Lord, you can use me. Take my hands, Lord, and guide my feet, and search my heart, Lord, and speak through me, Lord, and take my mind, Lord, and use me, Lord, and take my body, Lord, and use me, Lord, and take my family, Lord, and use me, Lord, and take all my friends, Lord, and use me. If you can use anything, use me. Thank you.
Wow. Brother McMorris, I want to say that quite often in this business, the volunteers of the NAACP, we often wonder, why do we do this? You've just outlined the reasons, and you also outlined the charges that face the NAACP today and in the short future and the long future ahead of us. So it's in our hands, folks. We have to do it and do it together. I just want to close with a couple of things. First of all, I left my short notes on at my chair. First of all, I want to thank the convention committee that not only planned 2 days of seminars, and I want to tell you, if you miss the seminars on Friday and Saturday, folks, you miss some very great instructional material. And we would hope that next year when we're in Rock Island, Illinois, that you will be there with us, because we'll continue the educational process in that city. Secondly, first of all, will the convention committee stand up? Ernestine, have your committee stand up so you can be acknowledged. Ernestine Jackson, would you please stand up? Where's the rest of the committee? Mary Hooks. Mary's sister Joyce is also back there, is that right? Where's she at? All right, Jackie Petty, there's Joyce there. Jackie Petty. I'm going to miss somebody. Mrs. Bonds, of course. She's always on every committee that we have. Now, as I mentioned to you, the business of the NAACP, we are all volunteers. And we have some devoted people that work with me and work with not only the state conference, but all those people who stood up as presidents of branches that work with them. Oftentimes we fail to acknowledge those people, and of course we just acknowledged the convention committee, but there are some special people who have served with me since I've been president of the state conference. And three people that they've retired from their retirement, from their volunteer jobs, and they're receiving more money now than they did before. They got zero before, and now they got time to make some money since they've retired from those positions. But I'd like Mary Hooks, Barbara Jones, the third person is Mike Williams, who's from the Bloomington branch, to stand up if you would. I have some plaques here, and I know that each one of you are, where's Barbara? There's Barbara. You know, I got to say some special things about it. Mary was my secretary at the state conference when I first became president. She retired. Barbara took over her position, and now Barbara has moved on in her employment to Memphis, Tennessee. That notwithstanding, she arranged our health care seminar and fair from Memphis, Tennessee for this convention this week. That shows you the dedication of our volunteers. And I'm sorry we don't have some money to give you, but in any event, we do have a couple of plaques up here, and I'm just going to read the plaques, and I will give them to you in the interest of time at the conclusion of this banquet. I always believe we ought to end these things before midnight, so I hope to do that today. This one's for Barbara Jones, but they both read the same. In appreciation of your dedication and services as Secretary of the NAACP Illinois State Conference, given 2010. Thank you both so much. They have now, where is Norma Joseph at? Norma is our newest secretary. Where's Norma sitting at? There she is. Norma has taken their place, and of course Norma does double duty right now. She's also the president of the Rockford, Illinois branch, and so she does double duty for us. But I want you both to know that how sincere I am in thanking you for the work that you've done for the NAACP. And you know, the beauty of it is they continue to volunteer even though they have retired from their volunteer jobs. The other thing I want to say in keeping with what Vicki Richards said, membership is the lifeblood of the NAACP. And without it, you know, most of the branches have one affair a year, in addition to the memberships we sell, to raise money to support the activities of the volunteers within the branch. And so I always like to acknowledge those people who have bought life memberships or the advanced memberships. We have two new life members in our audience tonight, Wilma Petty and Lynn Pearson. Would Wilma and Lynn please stand up? Okay. We want to thank you for being life members of the NAACP. When I was at the convention in Kansas City this year, a young man came up to me and asked me if I was Don Jackson from Peoria, and I said I was. And he said that he was from Peoria as well. He's now living in Jacksonville, Florida. But he said he wanted to be a life member of the NAACP, but he wanted that membership in Peoria, Illinois. His name is Eric Burns. Any members of the Burns family here this evening? All right, would you stand up, please? Eric, in fact, did become a life member of the NAACP, and he paid it in full the first time, and we really love him for that. That generated income right away. So I talked to Eric. He was not able to be here. He wanted to journey from Jacksonville to be with us tonight, but he couldn't make the arrangements. But we want you to know how much we appreciate him and his life membership in the NAACP. Finally, I want to thank everybody that's come. This has been a great convention. It's been tiring. It's had its moments. There's no question about that. But to all those who planned workshops, thank you very much. You outdid yourself. If you had an opportunity to attend the education workshop today for 3 hours, you know we had some great speakers. Interestingly enough, the the luncheon speaker was a PhD in Peoria here, Dr. Grenita Lathan. The superintendents of Decatur, Illinois, Springfield, African Americans. So it's working in our system. We just have to, education is the key to unlock many, many doors, and we just need to keep working at it. We've tried so hard to get African Americans in school districts around the state, and slowly but surely we are succeeding. So again, I want to thank everybody for being here this evening.